We're very proud of our history here at Cedar Point, and we're extremely proud of the Cedar Point Lake Erie Railroad. It's given well more than millions of rides during the summer. It's a family favorite, something everybody can ride, and again, it's a great addition to our park here. We're one of the few parks in the world that still have coal-powered, steam-powered locomotives. Like a big, huge Cedar Point welcome for our General Manager, Mr. John Hildebrand.
Thank you very much, Brian. And let me add that welcome to all of you to come here and be with us this morning. You know, the Cedar Point Lake Erie Railroad is probably not quite the media darling that Gatekeeper is, but it's an icon of Cedar Point and has been for 50 years. That's a very, very important thing. It's given more than 110 million rides in its 50-year history. That's more than any other ride at Cedar Point. But the Cedar Point Lake Erie Railroad is also a part of American history. As Brian mentioned, there are very, very few authentic steam-powered locomotives in operation today. This is one. This is the real deal, and we're very proud of that fact. Abraham Lincoln would ride this train and would remember and would say, yeah, this is a train. It was built 100 years ago. Most of our locomotives are that old. So it's really part of American history. And I think when you're on the rails, going around the curve and looking out at the bay and everything else, you feel a part of that. I know I do every time I ride it. The Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad was built really because of one man, the late George Roos, who was the former president of Cedar Point in the 50s and 60s and into the 70s. George was a lifelong train buff. And when he and Emil LeGros started the revitalization of Cedar Point back in the early 60s, George knew Cedar Point needed a train. It was a great decision, and we thank him for it to this day. It really made the difference. In its 50-year history, the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad has had only 3 superintendents. The late Jack Foster, the late Mike Hetrick, and since 1988, Randy Catry. Where's Randy? Right. Randy has been a great superintendent. I've really enjoyed working with him all these years. He has the skills to take care of these great machines, but he also has the heart. And that's a Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. Over the past 50 years, we've had thousands of employees who've worked here, and I know some of them are here today. Please raise your hand. We're going to give you a round of applause. Who's out there? Great. Thanks, guys. They're a very special group. It takes a special skill and a special dedication to work on a railroad. So we're glad you're here today. We've got some festivities planned for you. You're going to get an opportunity to walk through the engine house and see it for yourself, where they do all the real work, right, Randy?
That's right.
That's right. Randy, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Oh, boy, was this a mistake giving me this? Well, number one, I'd like to thank God for all the employees we've had over the years, and our current crew and all the past crews. We couldn't operate without them. And thank you for all the guests who've been on our train. Everybody's been safe. We'll keep it that way, and have a great day at Cedar Point.
Thank you, Randy. Now back to Brian.
Thanks, John. At this point, I'd like to introduce our first family, who's representing you, our guests, the best guests in the world. We have Ray, Casey, and Elias. They are both former Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad employees. They both met here at Cedar Point, and as you can see, they're now starting their own family and continuing the tradition of loving the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. So at this time, again, I'd like to ask them to pose for the photo. Very much for coming out today to celebrate the train anniversary. The tours will start now at the engine house, and Elias to be our first riders for the day. Thank you guys very much for coming. Enjoy your day.